see any agreement, be involved in that, and then they're gonna advise us if we're adequately legally protected.
Right, have you given your financial report, your assets, your liabilities to any of our city attorneys, or?
Not yet,
have you
because we
furnished
haven't,
that?
because we haven't gotten to that point.
Or Kirkwood by the river, okay.
We hadn't gotten to that point, so.
You did ask the question, what happens if they fail? The state has to take it over.
State has to take what over, the sewer
The
system?
sewer line. It goes to the state. They take it over and run it.
That's if Phoenix goes out of business.
Right, but yeah, exactly.
Sewer's still got to be served, whether I go out of business or
Yeah,
not.
the state takes them over, and they just, get the money and collect it and run it. So the liability is off of us there, because the state will do it.
I also think for the amount of money we're talking about, we're probably talking more about a loan than a bond.
Probably.
Yes.
Because $680,000 ain't quite enough to go out and seek a new bond.
Well, that's what James was talking about, get a loan.
Yeah, we are. And that's, I guess that's a whole nother issue, but, well, I get into the finance piece with the mayor and James, but as far as any other questions, do council, do you have any other questions? Because we really need to move on.
No.
And what Lanier's saying, you're saying either you or Kirkwood will pay the notes on the bond, or the loan.
That's right, they can't pay it.
Not the city.
That's correct. I'll be paying those on the bond.
Okay.
Or the loan.
Or the
Or
loan,
the loan.
however, I don't know, this is the new proposed franchise as well, so in order to get that with the rates structured, we would need to get this passed as well as to help me with the.
On the
getting started.
rate structure, I understand our attorneys have had a copy of your rate structure for a while, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do we have anything back from them yet? I don't know.
No, not yet. We'll get with Charlie next week, and, because there are some things I think that we could, just looking at the rate structure and the payment to Irondale, I just have a couple of questions. But hopefully we can get this on the agenda. I know we'll be gone, most of us, some of us will be gone next week, but we'll try to kind of expedite it and see what we can do so we
Okay.
can get it going. Of course, there's the other piece to this as far as financing, but you won't have anything to do with that.
This is more important, this is step A before we go to step B on
Right.
Kirkwood.
Okay. All right.
But I don't know whether I mentioned this a while ago, but or not, the reason that Birmingham Water wouldn't run water out there, and I think I said it, but I don't know whether I told you exactly, that they wanted to take an acre and make 3 lots out of it, and you can do that to build homes on. Birmingham said, no, you have to have a whole acre for a home because you're gonna have septic tanks. So they wouldn't accept it, but if you run the sewer up there, you can put 3 on an acre lot.
And that would be a normal residential size
Yeah.
lot.
It would be normal. So that was one big reason they didn't go ahead and develop it up there, because the waterworks wouldn't let them develop it because they had to have an acre lot.
And Kirk was effectively paying for that line going out that way. That's where I see the liability question in your mind, but it's being paid for by them through their rate.
And there is even another good future thing for Irondale in that since we do have water under I-459, but haven't really had any customers to run it to, if that subdivision or the land behind it gets developed for residences, then that would be enough to make it worthwhile for Irondale to pick up more customers by running its lines another, just a couple hundred yards, I think. Ain't that about right, Mayor?
We can run down to Zamora Drive,
Mm-hmm.
and if you've never been to Zamora Drive, when you get up in the curve on the hillside, there's a road that turns up the
Yeah.
hill.
Mhm.
It's got a gate over it.
Mhm.
That would be probably the way that the sewer would go in the water also.
Right.
Is up that road, because that road goes all the way through the Kirkwood.
And that's
And
gonna
that's
be.
where the development.
Yeah, and that's gonna be way less than probably half a mile max to run the water lines from where we cut them off before.
And we have a 16-inch main sitting right there that furnishes enough water to furnish a lot of homes right there.
Mm-hmm.
We'll put in for the hospital.
All right, can we, Mayor, if you don't mind, set up a meeting with potential developers out there? You said Waterhouse? Price
Yeah,
Waterhouse? Who's the developer? Who owns that property out there?
It's got the streets on it.
Yes. Who owns that?
Temple owns a little bit, and Kirkwood owns the most.
There's,
There's another owner, Lee Hines.
Lee Hines, yeah.
Lee
Yes.
Hines owns 106 acres there, right below it. And that would develop his land, and there's other land adjacent to it too. And that opens up all some more, 103 acres right
and
there.
if that opens, it goes even deeper down there, like where, you know, Owen Vickers and everything has his property, which he's trying to develop.
So what you're
Hey,
saying
Lanier,
is
I
just.
mean, we got to move it along.
Doc, that's fine.
We got- Do you have anything else you want to share with us, or is that?
I just look forward to hearing back from you on this. I don't want to be expeditious, but we're, you know, obviously the permit changed on us and it's killing us without this rates.
And we do, I just want you to understand that some of us will be gone next week.
I understand.
And, but there's no reason why we couldn't call a special meeting if we had to.
Okay,
Okay?
Thank you.
Once we return, no problem. All right,
Thanks, Lee.
appreciate it, thank you. Terry, did you have anyone?
Yeah, before we get into the budget, can we talk about?
Go ahead.
Oh, Joe, can you come get this and look at it and explain?
I don't know whether I can see it, I gotta go back to my office.
Yeah,
It's Tom.
Where's your specs?
There was a
I'm
wreck.
on my reading glasses.
Cindy Smith and her family were hit by Irondale police vehicle.
Yeah, I've already had contact on that.
All right, I got that letter today.
Okay.
All she's asking is $1,300.
I think we ought to pay it, but I don't know if you asked.
I think we ought to
I
also.
think we ought to.
Can I see the letter?
Who was it? I know, yeah, I've already read that. Who was it came to me
Cindy
a
Smith.
week or so ago.
I got it today.
Assuming the facts contained therein are accurate for the police, I would agree that we probably
Well,
need to pay it.
what I'm worried about is if you get a lawsuit, you're gonna have to pay a lot more than $13,000.
Well, I think it's the right thing to do.
Just 1,300 is not
I mean,
Well, let
$13,000.
me ask you all this, we've had somebody that had an accident in a city vehicle and we hadn't turned it over to the insurance company? That's what you all telling me?
We did, according to the letter, and then our insurance company, again, according to the
When did it
letter.
happen?
In March.
In March.
Is this the one that the city declined, that the travelers declined to pay it
They
because?
apparently said the police officer was on call, so
That's it.
there was no
See, we had a
liability.
blue light on.
Yeah, so why are we gonna go ahead and pay it?
Well, if you don't, there's gonna be a lawsuit.
Well, did you see her car? It was spooked over.
How does that fall?
Oh, no. Okay. All right, see me up on this one.
Well, what I'm saying is, Mayor, the insurance company has already decided that the city was not at fault. If the city now turns around and pays this person that money, you're basically saying that you are at fault because now you are going, I mean, I would say before that decision is made, number one, that needs to be something that's ran by the insurance company. Number two, that needs to be something that go before the law firm for us to determine whatever the legal ramifications is.
I talked with Charlie about it, and I think he's gonna recommend that we go ahead and pay $1,300, and I'm gonna tell you why, because when you go to a jury, you don't know what's gonna happen.
Yeah, I think that sets a dangerous, that's just
I
my
think
own
we-
personal opinion.
I hear you, James, and I think we need to see the police report on it, and if there's pertinent insurance. I'm not saying, we've got one set of facts in that letter, but we don't have the other facts.
You don't have the other side.
Well, I mean, I think what Travers said is that he had his,
Blue lights on.
he had his blue lights on, which gave him the authority to be able to proceed.
Did they send a written declination to us?
So what?
Did they send a
I mean, I'm
written-
quite sure they can.
Okay, see, that's what we
Well, the guy
need
was
to
just-
consider besides that.
Well, the guy called me to let me know that that's why they were closing out the case, because that's what they had decided. I'm quite sure they can send the city anything
Yeah,
in
well,
writing
that-
that you need.
I think we need to consider
But we
that
had
as well.
we had an accident like that happened maybe a few months before that, where a police officer pulled out with his blue lights on and hit Jim Dolan's door, going over to the Whistle Stop Cafe. And the insurance company ruled that because when an officer has their blue lights on, it gives them that authority to be able to do it, then that was the end. As far as I know, I haven't heard where they sent another letter saying that they still feel that the city should pay for it. But, I mean, that's,
And I'm not disagreeing with anything you say, I just think we need to see what the insurance company said and the police report. I mean, we have a letter, we don't even have a claim. There's other facts that we need to look at.
well, that's what I'm saying, before you just decide this is the right thing
Oh,
to
yeah, I
do.
don't-
Because,
we can't
because
take
this is
public
what that
there.
person said, because they got hit by a police car, that we just turn around and honor that letter.
Oh, I agree with you,
Getting
so they
all
would
the
have to
different-
put it on the agenda.
So, okay.
Yeah, okay. Did it, I just have a question. John, did it come through the police committee? Did you know
Nah,
anything
this is the
about it?
first I've heard of it.
Okay.
Can I read that?
Yeah, that's the first I've heard. I saw it.
Mayor, you said you took care of it. If you don't mind me asking, is the police officer, was he okay?
Yeah, nobody was hurt
Okay.
on either side.
Did the chief have a conversation with the officer that you and the chief were at?
You know, he had a conversation with me about it, and he said he had one with the officer, and they took statements that's on the police report. So we have the report.
Whenever a police officer is in an accident within the police department, they have a review committee.
Right.
Yeah.
So they review all accidents, when it was reported with whoever that committee is in the police department. And like I said, they found that he was not at fault. And then the insurance company ruled that they felt that the city was not at fault, so.
The letter states that he wasn't on call.
Yeah.
Said the police.
How did they know that he wasn't on
Well,
call?
he just said, I'm just saying, all the letter said
Yeah.
is that somebody in the police department told him that he wasn't on call. And that's what the letter said.
Okay, I hadn't
So I hadn't seen,
Oh,
that's the first time I even.
I read that part too, John.
Yeah, so I don't know.
And I don't know either, you know, who told them? They didn't say who told them, so we can't ask them.
So you don't know.
Well, you know what, we need to look at the records to see if he had, if
The
the
chief said,
dispatcher got a call
the
and,
chief said he was on call. And his blue lights on.
Okay. Mayor, if you don't mind, could you get chief, I mean, of course, before we put this on the agenda or whatever, or decide what we need to do with it, could you get chief to come speak with the council and kind of explain to us what
Yeah.
happened or whatever before we, put this on the agenda to vote on it
Yeah.
or whatever? So we can, look at all our options, if you don't mind.
Okay.
All right, when
The
we come
only
back
option
in on
I'm worried
Thursday.
about is if they sue us, and anybody can sue anybody, is that you get before a jury,
Yeah.
and it costs you 100 times more than what $1,300 is.
But if
That's
you
my
could,
concern.
if he could even come to the, council meeting on that Thursday when we get back.
Yeah,
How many council members we may have?
I won't be here.
I may be out of
In
town.
Tuscaloosa.
Okay, we may get him to do it during one of our work sessions before we put it on the agenda.
Just tell me when you want him there.
Okay, all right, okay. You got anything else, Council Beard?
That's it.
Okay. Next item on the agenda is proposals for the Irondale Festival. This is something that, I think we need to briefly discuss and see which direction we need to go in. Just as a, brief update, and Mayor, correct me if I'm wrong, we no longer have the rights to the Irondale Whistle Stop Festival because of, Christopher Cruz. I know he's one, and others that, have trademarked the name Irondale Whistle Stop Festival, so we can no longer use that. I did receive an email, if I must say, from Ms. Bearden, which stated that, the Irondale Whistle Stop Festival name is synonymous with the city of Irondale.
I have checked
So-
into it years ago, and we have the Whistle Stop. And I'm not saying festival, I'm saying Whistle Stop is the logo of the city of Irondale. They can't take that away from us. We can call it Whistle Stop, whatever.
Whistle
Doesn't
Stop
have to be
Fest.
festival. You can call it whatever, because Whistle Stop belongs to the city of Irondale. I checked into that several years ago.
Okay. All right. Well, the point is, this gentleman, he trademarked the name, so we can no longer use it. So we need to move forward with, whether or not we're gonna consider, using, whatever committee this is, the Wilson Stop Festival Committee, which I have no idea who's on the committee. I know Christopher is one. I wish he was here tonight so he could kind of elaborate on it. But we need to find out whether or not, what we're gonna do. Either we're gonna continue in the same direction, or if we're gonna move in another direction, since therefore we don't have the the name rights on the Irondale Whistle Stop Festival and see what we're gonna do. Now, let me explain this. We do have the okay and the blessings to host the Irondale Whistle Stop at the station at Grantsville. We do have the okay for that. We can
I didn't
also-
hear you, Bobby Joe.
Yeah, we
Let
can
me get a little
also,
closer.
we can also host the event here in downtown Irondale, if we like. But the most important part of it is, we need to figure out, at this point, what are we gonna do? Now, this is not the only proposal I have. I have another proposal also of who will coordinate this particular event, because the only thing the Whistle Stop Festival is, it's a PR standpoint. It's a festival that's put on just like any other festival that's located in any other municipalities. We have vendors, we have music, we have rides. All that stuff is basically the same when you go to any other city. So therefore, it's just a PR thing, which deals mostly with advertising. So we have one proposal on deck right now, and of course, I have another one. I don't have it with me, but I want to share it with y'all, and I will as soon as I get my hands on it.
Bob Joe, let me say something before you bring that up, and I want to tell about what happened last weekend.
Please.
The baseball park asked me to use the train. So I had city employees get the train and deliver it over there Saturday morning. Saturday afternoon, Chris Cruz went over there and got the train from Warrior and carried it to his place and locked it up and told them that it was his train. I have a disagreement with it being his train because I know what happened in the years that have passed. The old Whistle Stop Foundation, when they went out of business, we give this to the Exchange Club. The Whistle Stop Foundation told me I had control of the train. So I let John Shawn and the Exchange Club use the train. Then Chris Cruz come in. I let him use the train. In the meantime, the old engine went out, and we brought that one to the shop, and Chris Cruz donated a lawnmower that we refitted it. And so he sent word back to me that if I had a problem with that, give him a call. I do have a problem with it, and he's gonna hear back from me, but it's gonna be with the lawyers, not me. Because if he can't prove he owns that train and we can, then I'm gonna send out a warrant for his arrest for stealing the train. Now, he's gonna have to show me proof that he didn't steal the train. Now, I wanna see his bill of sale.
So he took it.
I don't want to comment on warrant for arrest, but I can't comment on.
Well, I'm just telling you, he can't show me proof of ownership,
Yeah.
and we've taken care of the train for the last 10 years that I've been here, and we have maintained it and did everything, and all they've been doing is using it. They turned it over to me and said, here it is, you got the train. And I got no bill of sale or nothing with it.
Well, getting back to my original statement, from an email I received from a citizen that's here in the audience that told me that the Irondale Whistle Stop Festival belongs to the city.
It
I
does.
still have that email.
It does.
I have it. And I feel as if the way that it was done, as far as trademarking the name, when it really belongs to the city, which I got the email, that I feel as if it was done not too much in honor, you know, the way it was done as far as trademark the city, the city's name, as far as what, you know, what people recognize the city of Irondale with. So, therefore, getting back to the proposal, you have it, look at it, because this is something that, you know, we're thinking about, and just give me your opinion, send me an email. Councilman Sanders?
Yes, I just wanted to comment on location only. If we're picking between downtown and Grants Mill, this would be a big year because of politics. it's something that brings people